It's time for the Michelin Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge. First race from Timaru, Craig Baird. That's where he wants to start alongside Daniel Gaunt. Johnny Reid from grid position 3 alongside Mitch Cunningham. And back to Scott Harrison and Triple X team boss Shane McKillen. Row 4 start for the first of the 996s, Simon McLennan. Right alongside him, second in the championship, Simon Evans, Paul Kelly and Mike Morton from row number 5, with Mark Madron back in the 996s, completing the lineup for race 1. Craig Baird, second pole position. He will start off the pole race 1 for the Michelin Tyres Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge. Daniel Gaunt from 2, Johnny Reid from 3, and Johnny probably a little bit disappointed, led most of qualifying as we wait for the lights to go out. The championship charge continues for Daniel Gaunt. Craig Baird trying to eke his way back into championship contention. Great start from Baird. Scott Harrison didn't get a great start from the third row as they rocked down into turn number 1. Status quo. Mark Pedersen, Craig Baird through to the lead, and it was a dramatic qualifying session.
There was action aplenty, wasn't it? We just didn't know who was going to be on pole. It was going backwards and forwards between Triple X and International Motorsport. But what amazes me is Johnny Reid and Craig Baird off the inside line. Jamie, that's the under third line will be at the fastest because it's pole position, because it's so dirty. Now Johnny Reid, what a magnificent shot going down this back straight here at Timaru.
On board the Ray Glass Skill Trap Group 997. So Baird, Gaunt, Reid. So Reid led for the majority of the qualifying session by just 3/1000ths of a second ahead of Craig Baird as we're back on board with Reid. Then Baird went a shade quicker by 700ths. Johnny went out to have another go to try and knock Baird off, and he in turn got jumped by Daniel Gaunt right on his last lap of qualifying. So within the space of about 4 laps, Johnny found himself from first all the way back in third, and you can't afford to give away track position here at Timaru, more so in these very, very similar spec 997s.
Yeah, that's a couple of things. The white qualifying is so important. If any category, it's going to be the 997 class and the 996 for that matter, because these are magnificent cars and so equal in performance, and of course the drivers so equal in ability, that the circuit is so technical, Jamie, that you need that pole position, because if you're third or fourth, it's very hard to get past the guys.
Just a 10th of a second covered the top 3 from qualifying. So Craig Baird, he made a pretty significant step back into the points behind Daniel Gaunt going into the round. He's 134 points. He started last weekend 188 points out of the leaves. We're back on board with Reid. Take a ride here on the Ray Glass Porsche. Wonderful sounds from these screamers from Stuttgart. 12-lap first race of the weekend. Baird on cold tyres, very, very good. He's out by about 3 to 4 car lengths ahead of Dan Gaunt, who's got Johnny Reid right up underneath his rear wing.
And interesting, I can't wait to see the start of race 2, because you'll see that Johnny Reid and Craig Baird in their starting boxes, Jamie, in the warm-up, they left the 2 biggest burnout marks of all time. I've very rarely seen that. The reason why they do that, Jamie, is because when they take off for the proper race start, they've got 2 nice bits of fresh rubber laid down for them, and that's why they got such a competitive start on the inside.
So Johnny lost some points in his championship chase between himself and Daniel Gaunt. Had a rear drive shaft break that cost him effectively 60 to 70 points. So Johnny's second in the points now, 96 points down on Daniel Gaunt. There's Mitch Cunningham going through now in the 4th spot. Scott Harrison in 5th. Shane McKillen, Simon McLennan next, the first of the 996s. He's in a championship battle with Simon Evans for the first 996 car home for the 10-11 season. Simon McLennan in the New World Metro 996. Mark Madron rejoining the championship this weekend in Timaru. Third of the 996s. Sadly, no Mark Wyman. He's back up in America on business commitments. Hope to see Mark back in the championship a little bit later on as we head back towards the North Island. So just looking at lap record pace, the track has slowed down a little bit this afternoon. Lost a little bit of track temperature, a little bit of rain just sprinkling in and out. It's fairly cool out there. I don't know, what would you put the temperature at, Mark, out there? Maybe sort of 14, 15 degrees tops?
Oh, it's probably a little bit higher now. The sun's actually out and the wind's died down a bit, Jamie. So look, we're probably just teetering under the 20-degree mark. But look at concentration on Johnny Reid's eyes. That magnificent sequential gearbox, bit of a head shake. There's probably more of the car than him, I'd think.
Down into 4. 2 very different lines there. Daniel Gaunt was taking a little bit wider. Johnny was right up against the apex, just clipping that curve off the inside of the corner.
Johnny is... But you can't afford to do too much rubbing in these cars like we see in the NZV8s, because of the induction system, the radiators in the front of these cars, the smallest tip, bang, you're out of the race. So, say, here, when he decides he's going to make a pass, and I reckon it's going to be 2 corners away, Look for the run on the inside, straight to the left.
Craig Baird.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen, eh?
Craig Baird, he's got a 1.7 second advantage, so he pulled 4/10 on the chasing Daniel Gaunt and Johnny Reid. Just starting to tie each other up a little bit in the battle for second and third. There's the gap. Craig Baird just flapping a little bit of rear bumper damage to that race car. What a start from Bairdo.
Yeah, it was like full launch control, wasn't it? So away he went, and he's paying the rewards for that now. But Daniel Gaunt, Johnny Reid, they've got enough of a lead over Mitch Cunningham that they can actually start playing with each other and be defensive against each other. The problem we've seen it before is that because when you start taking a second out by being defensive, the cars behind close so quickly. But one thing we know about Johnny Reid, we've seen it for the last 2 rounds, he does not know how to give up.
No,
the word give up does not exist.
Absolutely right. There's Scott Harrison, 5th on the racetrack, and the Mad Butcher, Carpet 1, Triple X Motorsport 997, best performing rookie, 5th in the championship going into the weekend here at Teretonga. Round 4 of the Motorsport New Zealand Premier Race Championship Series. Round 4 of the Michelin Tyres Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge. So the halfway point of race number 1 here at the Timaru International Motor Raceway. Craig Baird leads from Daniel Gaunt with Johnny Reid in 3rd. Craig Baird, he's extended out to 2.5 seconds now with Daniel Gaunt in turn, just getting a little bit of a break now ahead of Johnny Reid. Johnny has maybe just gone into conservation mode, maybe try and get a challenge back towards the last few laps.
I reckon hit the nail on the head, actually. We've seen this time and time again. Just when we think that Johnny Reid may have conceded that place, bang, he just comes straight back. They engineer these cars to come on song. Maybe Johnny's team's decided to do it quite early in the race because he was starting for 3, needed to capitalise. Look, we know that he can make up a 5 or 6 car length deficit in the space of 1 or 2 corners. So he's going to come. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I think wait and see Johnny Reid. I think you'll see the Ray Glass Porsche getting closer to Daniel Gaunt, maybe looking for a challenge with the maybe 2 to 3 to go. Big weekend for Ray Glass. Opening round of the Ray Glass New Zealand Offshore Powerboat Championships on Lake Taupo. So the Ray Glass team are busy at both ends of the country. Back on board with Reid. Pulling through the gears, 235, 240 plus kilometres an hour down into turn 4. You've spoken to some of the drivers about the resurfacing here at Timaru, notably turn 8.
Yeah, the drivers love it. They've got a lot more confidence than they ever have, but of course that confidence will be even more come into play if it rains, because we know what happened here last year with Johnny McIntyre and of course Matt Halliday in one of these cars here. Yeah,
Matt Halliday been one of the International Motorsport 997s in qualifying after, well, it was just a bizarre weekend for the former A1 GP team driver, Johnny Reid, like Halliday, also racing for the New Zealand A1 GP team. Back on board the Ray Glass 997. He's definitely getting closer to Gaunt, but Craig Baird extending again out to 3.1 seconds.
Yeah, the thing about Craig Baird is he's just controlling the race. He can go as quick as he likes or as slow as he's like, because he's got nothing to lose. And speaking to Craig early in the weekend, he said he's in the box seat in this race and also the BMT V8s, for the simple reason being he's not in contention for this championship anymore, so he can go out and just have, in his own words, a bit of fun.
So Craig Baird looking for his 4th win. Daniel Gaunt has won the most races over the first 3 rounds into round 4 here at Timaru with 6 victories.
It's interesting to me, if you have a look at Johnny Reid's car, when we get the opportunity to look at the back of both him and Daniel Gaunt comes off the brake a lot earlier, or Johnny Reid is trailer braking the brakes a long way around the corner.
Right, Reid coming right back at Daniel Gaunt. I mean, that gap was out to about 6 car lengths. A little bit of oversteer there for Reid. That cost him a little bit of track time.
Yeah, it's not the ideal place to get oversteer because it's acceleration. You're rocketing out of that corner trying to get as much as you can. And any time that you're breaking traction or you can't get maximum drive, you suffer, and you suffer badly.
Just watching these onboard shots.
Sorry, Jamie, he's just mothering the curbs. It's not a good thing at this stage.
Monstering the curbs. I was just about to say off that onboard shot from Johnny chasing Daniel Gaunt, the amount of debris coming up off the car in front, with the amount of rubber already starting to build up around the racetrack this weekend.
I've never seen that much rubber build up, and that's probably contributed to the fact that it's new surface, so much grip, you know, wearing through the tyres. It's just part of the racing.
So here's the first of our 996s. It's still Simon McLennan from Simon Evans, the battle of 996, 2 Simons. Simon's doing the Beardo, and he's got the headlights on. That's Simon Evans, that is. So they are in 7th and 8th overall on the racetrack, circulating in the sort of high 63-second bracket. As as opposed to sort of that mid-2s for the 997s. So these older 996s still run the ABS system. They run a gate-style gearbox as opposed to the non-ABS in the 997s and the sequential gearbox. Those wonderful, wonderful cars. These are still very, very cool cars to drive, though.
I would say they would be. Those 997s are a magnificent bit of racing kit. Purpose-built race car, of course, but when you look at these things on the track, they just do everything that the drivers ask. They turn the wheel, the car goes. They hit the brakes, the car stops. It's probably the perfect platform for a racing car.
Mitch Cunningham's had a lonely race back there in the 4th spot. He's 9 seconds away from the lead. He's got about a 1.8 second advantage over Scotty Harrison. So we watch Johnny Reid chasing down Daniel Gaunt. The battle for 2nd and 3rd. 1st and 2nd in the championship, 96 points apart. And Daniel would look to extend here by a further 7 points. Craig Baird, well, he will get back, what, 8 points, which certainly is a big number when you consider he's 134 away from Daniel Gaunt's championship lead.
Yeah, look, for him to have any part of this championship at all, he expects these two guys on the screen right now to falter and both of them retire, and it's not looking likely, is it?
Well, we saw it with Johnny at Teretonga with the broken drive line. I mean, Daniel Gaunt's had a pretty good run other than pretty much destroying this race car and testing at Pukekohe at the opening round of the championship. It was Craig Baird that then had all the drama through the race conditions. But, you know, Beardo's really started to get things back on track, certainly from Teretonga.
It's interesting to see the strength and the weaknesses. Like this point here, Johnny Reid is very quick. Okay, so go 4, 5, 6, 7 around that part of the track. He's monstering all the way back to Daniel Gaunt. You get to the other part of the track, Daniel Gaunt's got the strength. So at the end of the day, the result's the same. Here we go, Mitch Cunningham.
Here's another peak replay. Cunningham getting it wrong. Guess where? Down into 1. Was it down into 1?
I hope so, because that's the most obvious point to do it.
It was down into 1. Just such a tight camera shot there. He's trying to figure it out. There's a couple of spots around this racetrack you can go off pretty easily, but 1's probably the easiest place.
It's certainly the most safest place to go off.
So Craig Baird looking for the last lap, board 1 to go for victory number 4 for the 10-11 season. This is the battle that we're watching on board with Johnny Reid chasing down Daniel Gaunt for 2nd. Reid maybe with an opportunity if he can cross over onto the back straights. Trying to keep it tight, but Daniel Gaunt with a very, very good run out of that corner. Craig Baird with things under control out in front of the Mad Butcher, number 1. Johnny Reid, I don't know that he was close enough. Daniel got a pretty good run out of 3 onto the back straight. It's double apex left-hander. Turn 5, McKissick curve. Sets up the run to the hairpin, turn 6. As Johnny Reid works over Daniel Gaunt, trying to force him into a mistake with just a couple of corners left to go. To 7. Onto the new seal, Craig Baird takes his 4th checkered flag of the season, trying to get his championship back on track. Daniel Gaunt holds on to 2nd ahead of Johnny Reid. So Beardy's pretty happy with that one. Craig Baird celebrates the victory. Going back to 996, it will be Simon McLennan. He will cross the line 7th overall, 1st of the 996s, narrowly ahead of Simon Evans. Win number 4 for Craig Baird for the championship. Daniel Gaunt in 2nd, Johnny Reid 3rd, followed by Mitch Cunningham, Scott Harrison and Shane McKillen. Simon McLennan, the 1st of the 996s, home in 7th, ahead of Simon Evans, Paul Kelly, Mike Morton and Mike Madron.
Beardo, congratulations, mate. You got that all-important jump and then you made it look quite easy.
Yeah, to be fair, it was. There was a bit of a battle behind us. Obviously, Gaunt and Johnny Reid were battling, so it made my life a bit easier. And I wonder where they'd got to actually, but I just got a mega start for a change, and I've mucked a few of those up, so I did a couple of practice ones during the week. But no, my car was very, very good, so I just drove away and then backed it off with about 4 to go.